In this video, I'm going to show you how you can blur the background or basically blur anything in CapCut on PC. Now, it's important to note that I'm using the CapCut Windows version. You might be able to do this on the phone or on the online version, but for advanced editing, I would recommend CapCut on Windows. Obviously, import your video from your hard drive into CapCut. So what you want to do is drag in your video, right? So drag it onto your timeline. Now, once you've done that, you then need to find what you want to blur. So I'm just going to blur, for this example, rectangle here on the screen. Let's say, for example, this is personal info and I wanted to blur it. So what I would do now, I will go ahead and right click on the clip, click on copy, and then you want to click at the top of it, right click and paste. And that's going to copy the clip onto a new layer here. So you've got now two layers of the same video. So now what you need to do is basically add the blur effect. So to do that, you want to go to effects, then you want to go ahead and find video effects, click on the little downwards arrow. So in the new update, blur is now in lens. So go ahead and click on lens and you want to scroll down and then there will be effect here called blur. You don't want any other blur. You don't want, there's different blurs here like motion blur. Just drag on the blur effect and drag it onto the top clip on the top of the timeline. And that will then add this blur effect. You can see here, if you look at your preview, everything is blurred. Now you can increase or decrease the amount that your footage is blurred, and we'll get onto that later. Also, another tip, if you click off the clip and then you click back on it, you're not going to see the effect. But if you right click on the clip and go to edit effects, the blur effect is going to come back up again. So you can choose how much you want to blur, but I'm going to show you how you can blur a specific area first, and then it's probably best to come back to how much you want to blur it. So click off of the clip, so your effect window is gone, then click back on it. So by default, you're probably going to be on basic. You want to go to mask. So now you want to find the area that you want to add the blur to. I'm just going to add it to this rectangle, like I said. Now on the top clip where you've added your blur, you want to click on any of these masks. So you can add like a circle mask, a rectangle, star. I'm going to choose rectangle because it's going to fit my video. So you'll notice when I click on rectangle, it's then only going to blur a specific area of that rectangle. Now we can drag this and move this around. And in my case, I want to kind of like drag this just on this rectangle here, because remember, we're pretending this is like personal info. Let me just drag this down and there you go, that works fine for me, right? So now right click on the clip again, go to edit effects, and here you can kind of like drag where you want the blur to start. So like over here, we don't have this rectangle, and this rectangle happens to start here. So maybe I just want the blur to start from this bit here. So you can see at the start, the blur doesn't show. And then when we get to this blue point of the clip, it now starts to blur. And again, you want to check the blur strength and obviously increase that to what's needed. And yeah, that's basically all you've got to do. You've now blurred something in CapCut. Hope that video did help you out. If you've got any questions, put them in the comment section below.